Welcome to Super Mark Z, where today I'm going to talk about the unseen Dragon Ball Z plot hole. This plot hole is so unseen, or it may not even be a plot hole. The plot hole is, how did they know where Goku was going to land if Goku used instant transmission to reach the Earth in the future timeline? How did they know where he's going to land? Because if used instant transmission defeated King Cold, and then that mean they stayed there 3 whole hours and then saw the space pod falling to the ground, knowing that's where he would have landed? Or was the past already changed more than we ever realized? Here is Super Max Z starting the video. So when I was watching through the Android saga yesterday, I asked myself this exact question. How do they know where Goku landed if Goku had used instant transmission to get to Earth to fight Frieza and King Cold? That wouldn't make any sense on how they would realize that Goku would be there and land specifically there. It either has Here are the 3 possible answers. 1. They stayed there a whole 3 hours just waiting for Goku's space pod to land after Goku defeated King Cold. That seems very unlikely. And 2. That they found out about where the space pod had landed after it was found by someone else, or they found it at a later point in time. More possible. But here is my favorite theory. The third one is that the future timeline had a bigger difference than we ever realized. Like how they fought 17 and 18 first and not 19 and 20. Here's one of the few these theory states. This theory states that King Cold and Frieza actually arrived earlier in the past than in the future timeline, and that in the future timeline, King Cold and Frieza had arrived exactly a few minutes after Goku had already landed. Thus, future Bulma would actually know where Goku would have landed because he didn't use instant transmission. He had already arrived using the space pod, and the Frieza Force just came after. That would mean that that's how they know where Goku landed, because in the future timeline, most likely he had already landed on Earth just before Frieza and King Cold arrived. Because if Goku had actually used instant transmission, does that mean they stayed there for a whole 3 hours waiting for the space pod to arrive? I believe that's very unlikely for them. So, if that's the case, maybe that's Trunks jumped in to kill Frieza and King Cold, because in his timeline, Goku should have already been there by the time Frieza and King Cold had appeared. So you're wondering, then why did the present timeline's events be changed so far that Goku hadn't arrived and that King Cold and Frieza arrived earlier? This might be because of the fact Cell had time traveled to just a year before, age 764. So because Cell was already there, maybe that's what changed some events. And here are some other events that I think could have also been changed because of Cell. Maybe that's why Android 19 and 20 attacked the city instead of 17 and 18. But this is a plot. This video is specific. If you want to see a future video talking about that, comment down below. Now, people will also state, then why did King Cold and Frieza somehow end up coming to Earth earlier in the present and later in the future? I don't believe that in the past, in this present timeline, that King Cold and Frieza arrived earlier. No, I believe that in the present timeline, Goku somehow ended up staying longer on Yardrat, so would have arrived later. A very small difference that could have changed history. So, if Future Trunks hadn't gotten there, yes, Goku could have instant transmissioned there and defeated King Cold and Frieza. But that wouldn't be how it had happened in the future, as if that's how it had happened in the future, they wouldn't know where Goku had landed in the future. So, with all the evidence I have, here is a timeline on how those two different things have changed. Let's go. In the future timeline, at age 764, at least 3 hours during the time when the Z Fighters were there waiting for Goku, they felt the space pod of Goku landing there in the hills and found its exact location. That's how Future Ballman knew about it. And then King Cold and Frieza would then appear and Goku would fight them and most likely kill them. Then, after that, it would go on. And then Goku would have died of the heart virus, the androids, and then Future Trunks would have gone to the present timeline. So when Future Trunks arrived there, after all, he had stories of how Goku defeated King Cold and Frieza. He had stayed there waiting for Goku to land. But after Goku didn't land and King Cold and Frieza were already there, that's when Future Trunks decided to go and kill King Cold and Frieza for himself, because in his timeline they had already arrived together after Goku. So this shows why Future Trunks decided to go and kill Frieza and King Cold. Not because he was impatient like most people say, it's because his story had already changed. They couldn't have found out where Goku had landed if Goku had used instant transmission, as they would have already left just before the spaceport would have landed in the future timeline if Goku used instant transmission. So this will show that time travel changes things so far that the two timelines don't even look alike anymore. And the reason that Goku arrived later in the present is most likely because of Cell and how that time travel caused like a ripple in space-time, changing some key events right there. So that shows why I believe that there's another change I want to state that most likely is different than in the future. Not that Future Trunks was there, it is that Goku most likely had to get a new technique to finish off King Cold and Frieza. Yes, that's possibly just, maybe he just used the Kamehameha or Super Kamehameha, but maybe even got a new technique. We can't tell, as we never saw that battle in canon. So, this is my theory on the unseen plot hole in Dragon Ball Z Android Saga. Thank you for watching this video, and this is Super Mark Z heading out. Watching till the end, like, share and subscribe, and comment down any ideas that you'd ever suggest me to make a video on. And if you want to watch another video, come again to this channel and see another video. Like, share and subscribe again, and share this video with anyone you know will be interested with the topic and the video itself. This is super video. Now I have two ideas that if this video reaches a specific number of likes, I will do. If this video reaches 250 likes, I will do a theory about Z Broly and if he is actually the legendary Super Saiyan. And if this video reaches 300 likes and at least 50 subscribers, I will make a video about what if video of any kind that will be commented down below. Now, this is Super Mark Z about to head out.